Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It is April 7th when I'm recording this. It's going to be over the weekend, a 3-day weekend, and we do have non-farm payrolls and we have unemployment rate that came out. Yeah, we'll see what the market's going to do when we get back to everything on Monday. But in the meantime, I figured what I could do is show you guys some setups that have worked so that you can see the power of the Moxie Indicator and the power of the setups and rules that I have. This would also kind of show you that I'm going to show you the IWM next, and to recognize when it's not the best idea or location to try to short something. So if we look at Dell, for example, you can see here that price got really oversold. Okay, the IWM looks the same way, XLF looks the same way. Even though it was a big move, you have to recognize when it's no longer a good move to the downside because it's oversold and at least likely to bounce back up. Now, maybe this isn't going to be an uptrend, but what you can do is there is definitely a move from here to here, and you got to know when to recognize when it's the short side is pretty much overdone. But anyway, if you guys can also see it, there is a perfect elf shoe in there that I typically talk about. So the elf shoe, essentially it's a double bottom, but you can see it's perfectly right there. And as far as the Moxie Indicator goes, what I want to show you guys is here's your double bottom. There's your Moxie positive divergence. And not only is it positive divergence, you can see that price was below the hourly 50, the Moxie indicator is above zero. That's what I call a trampoline move. And within that, it's like, like Russian nesting dolls. You got a pattern within a pattern. You even have another elf shoe right there. So that elf shoe is exactly the same thing as that right there. And then if you take it one more layer down where you can figure out where this thing wanted to go, was right there where price pulled back into an uptrending 15-minute 50 with the Moxie indicator above zero, and once that confirmed, there was your move. So there were a bunch of, all the setups were right there just kind of nesting inside of each other and giving you that move to the upside. Now then, let me show you IWM, which is in a different phase, and so you can start piecing this together and saying, oh, okay, I'm starting to see this, and what do you think is likely to happen? So notice that IWM right here is very far outside of that 30 TR, got oversold. Okay, so it's at least likely to stop going down and kind of move up at some point. What do we also see? We see the beginning of an elf shoe in through here. Okay, well then what do we see next? Oh, well here's your level, there's your positive divergence, and again, not only is it positive divergence, but it's also priced below the 50, the Moxie indicator above zero. That's a trampoline move. So once we look for that, we then look a little bit lower, and now we look for confirmation of price starting to engage with the 15-minute 50. We want to see the Moxie indicator back over zero. Now, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to hold these moving averages and move up. If that doesn't happen, well, price is going to continue to move like this. It's going to continue to move down like that, and there won't be a setup. It just won't confirm. So now let's take a look at a different one, EVGO. Now, granted, this one had earnings, but even that, it's still the same setup. We can see prior to that, here's another very oversold move. You can see this was another form of an elf shoe. And if we look one layer down, you can see here, there's your double bottom, there's your positive divergence, and then when price, there's the Moxie price trigger, and then price engaged with the hourly 50, and that was your move up. So same basic idea, same basic concept. Now we can even take that over here and look at what's happening normally, or happening here leading into earnings. Now, of course, anything can happen for earnings. I'm not saying that we should have necessarily known this or been able to take advantage of it on earnings, but I want to show you that the setup was there, and earnings happened to be another little motivating factor. So here in its entirety, you can see that price is below the daily 50, the Moxie indicator is above zero. That's a trampoline move. And then you could also see this is another form of an elf shoe in through there. Again, basically double bottom. Setting up to that, we could see that we had price level, Moxie indicator up, and there's your Moxie price trigger. And even if we took one more layer down and we look here on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that leading up to it, this was the perfect setup. Even if we ignored earnings and just pretend like we didn't know it, that would have been a perfect setup, because you could see here price level, Moxie indicator up, Moxie indicator tight, and price back over the 15-minute 50, and all the moving averages moving up. So earnings happened to accelerate this, but all the pieces of the puzzle were there, ready to go, with everything that I showed you, incorporating from Dell to IWM to EVGO. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy that. Join my free newsletter with the link in the description. Good trading, and I'll see you at the next video.